Prime Minister's with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Are you going to ignore the 88%?
Well, no. I think what I am going to do is take to Cabinet today a series of proposals that I think can give parents increased levels of confidence. I've always said that if the law doesn't work, then I would change it. So it's important that we make sure that we can understand clearly and without bias whether the law is working or not. So, look, I think you can't ignore when such a large number of New Zealanders express their view. They didn't necessarily say they wanted the law changed. They said quite clearly they thought that if they smacked a child in a minor inconsequential way, that should not be something that sees them hauled before the courts or the children taken off them, nor do I believe that would ever be the case. And I think the current statistics support that view that I hold.
Yes, but they would disagree with you, the public, wouldn't they? I mean, you say the law works, they say it doesn't. Why are you right and they're wrong?
She said, no, I don't think that's absolutely right. I think that they've said is, and that was the question, wasn't it, that could you lightly smack a child?
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't. The word likely wasn't in there at all, and nor, in fact, was the question anything about changing the law, and I'd suggest to you, if it was about changing the law, you would have got the same result.
Maybe, but look, as I've said before, if you look at the statistics at the moment, the law has worked. In the last sort of year, when it comes to actually, when it comes to the situation of whether there have been complaints made about smacking, there have been 33 in the calendar year of 2008, of which there was one that proceeded to a prosecution, but that was ultimately withdrawn.
Yeah, but you're making parents criminals. That's what people get upset about. I mean, I don't happen to smack my kids, but I am a criminal if I do, and that's what's wrong with the law, and that's what 88% of people suggest to you.
Well, what I'm going to ensure is that's not the case, and what I would tell you is that's not the case at the moment. As I say, there were 33 cases where there were complaints about smacking, one that almost led to a prosecution. It was withdrawn. In the same time period, 83,000 complaints about domestic or family violence. So I think we need to put it in a bit of perspective. My view has been that the law isn't perfect, but we put in there a compromise that ensured that in practice it worked. That's what's actually important here.
But John, this sounds like a complete muddle. The law's not perfect. Why not just toss it out? What's the big deal about it?
Well, because you'd have to go through an enormous process that would completely derail Parliament. It's not as simple as people say.
Derail Parliament? Well,
it would arguably be an extremely explosive issue going back the other way.
With who?
Well, with a whole lot of people.
Like who?
Well, like a lot of people.
Like who?
Well, like
you could pass it by lunchtime.
I don't think that's actually right.
Who would object to it?
Well, it's a free vote, isn't it? Potentially.
No, it's not. Well, it doesn't have to be.
Potentially, it could be.
But it wouldn't be if you wanted to pass the law, because you've got the numbers in the House. You could change this by lunchtime today.
Well, not by lunchtime today.
Okay, by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Come on.
The law could be changed. There's no argument about that. But my point to you is that in practice at the moment, the law is working. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't put in additional safeguards, and that would be the process that I would support at this time.